Okay, so the Philadelphia Eagles make some good changes to their staff. Although one individual was fired for Jordan Davis being out of shape last year, that's not all. Could a Philly fan favorite, Eli Ricks, not make the 53-man roster? Plus, what's this talk about Jeff Lurie selling some stake of the team? And Jalen Hurts talks about how good Fangio's defense is, although they like to talk trash to each other. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast, and today, as always, we got a lot to get into. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, can I ask y'all for a quick favor? Help your boy out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell. Yes, that notification bell, so you don't miss the videos. So real quick, let's give a huge shout out to a Philly favorite, Big Dom. Mike Garafolo tweets the Eagles announced a host of changes/title changes to football operations, scouting, and more. Among them is Big Dom's new title, Senior Advisor to the General Manager/Chief Security Officer / Game Day Coaching Operations. A lot of cool titles. Let me know what y'all think about it. But the thing that stands out to me is Game Day Coaching Operations, so he never gets kicked out of a game again. As for the Eagles firing somebody in their staff, they worded it a lot nicer. The Eagles have moved on from Ted Rath, their Vice President of Players Performance, and NFL source confirmed Tim McManus report. Rath oversaw the team sports science and strength and conditioning staff. The Eagles saw a marked improvement in their overall health in 2022, and Rath methods, which involved in less training, were said to have a benefit. But the Eagles took a step back in 2023 in that regard, and some staffers felt some players, particularly key ones like D-tackle Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, weren't in the shape they needed to be late last season. So again, the report is sugarcoating the real reason that the Eagles are firing Ted Rath. Most of the strength and conditioning staff believe that Rath was a big part of the Jordan Davis collapse. Even Jalen Carter took his foot off the gas pedal to end last season. The blame for the guys looking gassed out there, probably more in defense, and like they said, especially at D-tackle, went on Ted Rath, and now he is up out of here. Let me just say this. Vic Fangio, a guy who's old school, who believes more practice is better. Yes, injuries can happen, but so far, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, but more Jordan Davis, look like they're in the best shape of their life. Although I didn't talk about Jalen Carter much in the 3 days of mandatory minicamp, after re-looking at some of the articles, Ed Kratz mentions that Jalen Carter pretty much bullied Tyler Steen and some of the other offensive line on day 2 of minicamp. His exact words, bull rush. It wasn't a good look for right guard Tyler Steen when he got bull rushed to his rear end by Jalen Carter on the second play of 11-on-11 work. Remember, this is day 2 minicamp. It wasn't a good look for the offense in general on that play either, because linebacker Devin White blitzed and was buzzing around Jalen Hurts. I did mention that Devin White got a sack on 11-on-11s in my video for day 2, but I didn't know that Jalen Carter was bullying Tyler Steen. Nothing against Steen. We know who Jalen Carter is. All-Pro campaign in 2024 coming up. Moving on to something that almost gave me a heart attack, to be honest. I saw an article saying that Jeff Lurie is exploring selling some stake of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I literally couldn't breathe for a second. Thankfully, I looked more around and saw Zach Berman tweeting that Jeff Lurie is exploring a sale of a minority stake of the Eagles, according to a report from Bloomberg. The report indicates there would not be a path to a controlling stake, working on more information now. So I don't know if he came out with more information. Let me know in the comment section if you heard anything. But at the end of the day, there's no way for whoever buys into it to control football operations. Heck, let them have in so they can, I guess, make money on some of the other events that go on at Lincoln Financial, or just the general profit. But nobody can be in charge of football operations. besides Jeff Lurie and Howie Roseman. Oh, and of course, the coaching staff. Let's move on to a touchy subject, the cornerback position. A fan favorite, Eli Ricks, might be out the door. We still got the summer, we still got training camp, and we still got preseason, but it's not a good start. Ed Kratz also wrote in the article, Eli Ricks. It was only one day that the second-year cornerback stood out, but not in a good way. He's running with the 4 team and isn't in the mix there very often either. Now, before y'all kill me in the chat, like I said, we still got training camp, preseason, and I like Eli Ricks. He played some good football last year. We saw he's a better talent outside, not inside. He got that dog mentality, UDFA, that made the roster. I'm not willing to give up on him, but we can't keep every single corner. There's a lot of good corners on this team, and that's one of the hardest positions to make the team. We're going to see, though, because I'm definitely rooting for Eli Ricks. As for the job that Fangio's been doing early in OTAs and minicamp with the defense, it's been fantastic. Nick Sirianni says he's been very impressed with the defense and the job that Fangio is doing, getting players coached up, which, like we said, throughout the 3-day minicamp, the defense has been better, but it takes longer to build a new offense, a brand new offense, than retool a defense because we've been using the Fangio scheme. As for Jalen Hurts, he had some comments on Fangio. He might be old school, but Fangio likes talking trash, but Jalen Hurts gives it back.
Yeah, yeah, he gives me a little. He talk a little trash sometimes, and I enjoy that. But I always remind him, against him. So, no, he's been great. He's got him wired up. He has a great mentality on defense. Kind of old-fashioned, and we're just trying to get the hay in the barn, and prepare.
I mean, how much can you trash talk when he goes 2-0 versus you? He beat you twice, you beat him 0 times. Y'all had a better day in practice, but we are talking practice. In yesterday's video, we went over some of the key things Jalen Hurts said about Kellen Moore's new offense. If you missed it, it should pop up in the top right corner now. However, when this video's over, it will pop up at the very end. You gotta hear it if you missed it. Nick Sirianni commenting on Jalen Hurts' spring with the new offense. I think he's done a really nice job adapting to some of the different things we are doing. There's different concepts, there's similar concepts, but in those similar concepts, sometimes we're asking him to read it differently than we have in the past. There's similar things with the way the routes are being run, and there's some differences of how we run it in the past as well. That goes with how the play is supposed to be designed. So some of the things Jalen was doing wrong, reading the field, not checking in the hots, maybe because he wasn't coached to do that. We will see under Kellen Moore, but he's doing some similar stuff, but being coached differently on even the similar things. Kellen Moore is really taking over, and I think it's going to be harder to grasp for Jalen than his last 2-year offense that was like super predictable. But once he grasps it, firmly grasp it, as SpongeBob said, it's going to be deadly. Also, let me know in the comment section, who do you got in the NBA Finals, Celtics or Mavs? Zach Berman tweeted, Jeffrey Lurie, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown, and Big Dom all made the trip to Boston for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Of course, we all saw it. Boston wins Game 1, they lead 1-0. But I don't know if the Mavs are going to just lay down like they did in Game 1. Let me know who you got. We all know Devontae Smith is a Celtic fan. Jeff Lurie is a Celtic fan. However, A.J. Brown wants the Mavs to win, got the Mavs winning. I think he don't like the Celtics like most Philly fans don't. Lastly, I decided to read an article on WIP. I know I shouldn't. It hurt my head. But that Joe D. Camara dude, I don't know how you say his name, said Jalen Hurts' comments on Nick Sirianni were disastrous and showed a clear disconnect between quarterback and head coach. And I'm like, huh? I watched the interview. I didn't see that. so I clicked it. In the article, he said Jalen Hurts didn't give much of an answer when asked about Nick Sirianni's openness to change his coaching style, and gave nothing further when asked a follow-up about any changes that he's seen in his head coach this offseason. So Joe is getting disconnect because Jalen Hurts didn't give him a rah-rah answer or a negative answer. He just kept it even kill. That's Jalen Hurts. Joe then decided to end it with a quote saying, "If I was Jalen's agent, I would say, listen, big guy, you have a chance to make a lot of money for a lot of years with this team, the Eagles," Joe said. "But they can zip you out of here after the season, and if you don't get on board, they might." Gotta woosah real quick. He's literally saying that if Jalen Hurts don't get on board with Nick Sirianni, they're going to ship Jalen out. I think they would ship Nick Sirianni out first, but let's just stay there. He's talking about disconnect because Jalen didn't say, "Oh yeah, Nick changed. What? He didn't say nothing negative. He didn't scream positive, but he kept it like Nick's who he is. And he's been relaying a message to the team that we all understand." Again, I read it, my head hurts, and I figured I will share what was said in that article at the end of the video. So only the real ones made it this far, and I'm sorry, your head hurts probably too now, but we gotta feel it together. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Do your boy a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you don't got that notification bell hit, turn it on so you get a ding when I go live or upload a video. Videos are going to come out earlier now that we're in the real off season, plus a lot more live streams. And if you want to be there when I'm live, make sure that bell's rung. Until next time, muscle emoji, leave all your thoughts. I love hearing you from day 1, 2, 3. Anything that you thought I didn't talk about, give me your take.